What's going on, guys? JT here with an unboxing of the Subotech Ventura. So before I get this started, I do want to give a big thanks to Nathaniel and Timothy. Appreciate you guys donating some money to the channel. It does help me to purchase stuff like this. So I picked this up. It's under about 75 bucks. So I'll leave a couple links in the description you guys can kind of take a look at to see where you can get this from. You can get this from several places out there as well. But basically, this is a 14th scale brush. It does come with a 380 size can brush motor in it, but it does run on LiPo, and they do have a brushless model. Brushless models, of course, this is going to be the gray one, is brushless, and this red is brush. So I went ahead and went with the brush first, and then I'll possibly get the brushless later on. So you guys see that this does come with full ball bearings, metal differential. I'm not sure if these shocks are oil filled or not. I'm not 100% sure on the specs on the servo, but it is 2.4 gigahertz and stuff. So that is good. And I picked this up, guys. It looks really good. I've seen a couple of images on it. I looked on online for some reviews and stuff like that, and I did see some images of it. It looks to be pretty good and pretty solid. So let me go ahead and get ready to get this box open real quick. All right, so pulling this out, y'all know I got to do it. Yeah, the smell of a new RC car. So let me go ahead and get this out the box and get this all set up. We'll be back in just a minute. Y'all smell that? It just smells so good. All right, guys, looking at this, and this looks really cool. It does. I mean, it is 14 scale. So it's, of course, not 12 scale, not 10 scale. So it is smaller than a 10 scale. I'll do some size comparisons a little bit later on so you guys can see that. But this thing looks really, really cool. Before we get into some of the looks of it and some of the features of it, it does come with a 2.4 gigahertz radio. This radio does use 3 AA's, and it's got a little bind button on there. It's got of course, knobs and stuff for your dual rate steering and then for your steering trim as well. So, and these are kind of coming with some of the other cars that I've seen as well, some of the other trucks and stuff that I've had that are around this scale. And then, of course, your bag of goodies. You get a charger in there that can charge your LiPo by USB port. I like that a lot. With that, and I believe the LiPo is going to be, I think I saw it as 650 milliamps. So we'll take a closer look at that. Get some tools in there. And then, of course, your instruction manual. Pull this out and look at this real quick. Instruction manual, it's pretty detailed on what the car is about and stuff like that. And of course, this is going to be for 14 years and over. So, but you get this for a younger kid, I'm pretty sure they'll be happy with it as well. So anyway, taking a closer look at this, let's go ahead and shed some light. There we go. So this looks pretty cool. Oh, look at that. So like I mentioned, there is a brush model, which you see here. And then there's also a brushless model as well. The brushless model is going to be gray. And you guys know I'm a big fan of red color RC cars. I don't know why. My real car ain't even red. I just like red color RC cars. But this thing looks good, guys. It's got some pretty cool detail too, especially for the price point. You're going to pay about 74, 75 bucks for this. Someplace you might be getting a little bit cheaper, but then you got to think about shipping and tax. So it's going to be about, I'd say, between 70 and 80 bucks. For anything more than that, I think you're going to be overpaying for it. It's probably still going to be worth it because it is kind of hobby grade and stuff. But this thing has some pretty cool and good detail for it. Looking closely at the tires, they are a little bit hard. We'll have to see how these perform out there, but they are going to last long as well. And got a little wheel nut in there, so these can come off. I'm not sure if these are 12 millimeter hexes on here or not. But as I, after my first run, I'll give my first run thoughts, and I'll get more in depth of some of the technical and build aspects of this as well. I usually, when I do my own unboxings, I don't get too in depth on that. I kind of want to run the car and look at some of the things of it. So let's get these tiny body clips out that actually, if it's cold outside, y'all know what I mean. Get your fingernail, get caught up between your fingernail and stuff and stuff like that. But this body is cool. The body is a little thin, though. I will say that. Yeah, this body is really thin. But I've seen a video or two of this running, and it actually held up pretty well. Those side mirrors will come off if you start flipping that. But they did a good job on the detail of this body. They really did, guys. I mean, that looks real good. And, of course, looking at the inside of it, so there's no figurines or anything on the inside of this. But for the price points you pay, I think you're doing pretty good. And these shocks, are they? I don't think these are oil-filled shocks. No, they're not. So, and of course, you'd put spacers in there to adjust it, but I don't think that's going to be too bad. And look at that little lipo. Let's pull this out real quick. I think this is 650 milliamps, but you can, as you guys see there, put different size lipos in here. But it's going to be hard to find that particular connector. Now, unlike some of the other cars I had before, you only get one of these. So you'll have to purchase some more. So luckily with the other ATV bike I got, they give you two of these. They probably should have gave you two of these. That'd be pretty cool if they do that. So you guys are looking out there to manufacture this, give us another lipo. But I'll bring my other lipos with me too, so we can get some run time and get some runs in with this. And I believe those are higher milliamp lipos. So, but it's going to be not too difficult to find a lipo. It'll probably be pretty cheap, but it would be good to have two of these. So, looking at the truck, like I said, the suspension setup isn't too bad. And this has a differential, so it's not really solid axle. But looking underneath it, which is something that a lot of these overseas companies are doing, which is good, as this is now steel, it's not plastic. Because this was always the weak point of a design like this. You know, after several runs running and jumping and stuff, this drive shaft ends up breaking. So this is metal. So we'll put this to the test. I did see, like I said, a couple of runs and stuff like this with this vehicle. So it did seem like it held up pretty well in the brushed and the brushless version. So the on-off switch, of course, is right there. You know, I'm not a big fan of the on-off switch being underneath the car, but it is what it is with that. So looking at a couple of things, so there's really no adjustability. You guys see that here, but it does have metal dog bone in the front. It does have a metal differential you guys saw there. And you guys see that? We got lights. So that is a good thing too. Lights just in the front, I believe. There's no lights or anything in the rear there, but that's fine with that. And looking at a few more things with this, I'm trying to see how part replacement is with this. This does come with those little, you guys see that there? So it does have Phillips head screws on there. So that's fine with that. I mean, you know, some manufacturers still do produce that and put that on their cars. It's probably a little bit cheaper to produce those and put those on here. So I don't know the specs of the servo. I'll have to try to look back and see. Got a little play there with that. But like I said, the running videos I saw, it wasn't bad at all. That's why I went ahead and pulled the trigger on this and went ahead and bought this. So that's it for this, guys. I'm not going to get too in depth. I'm really excited to kind of get this out and run because it does look cool. But this suspension, man, these springs may be too much for this. I may have to look at getting some softer springs for this, but we'll see. We'll have to get this out and run it. But these springs do seem like it's going to have this kind of bouncing around a lot. So anyway, guys, that is a look at this. This does look cool. That is one of the reasons why I went ahead and pulled the trigger on that. I appreciate the donations because it did take down the cost of this to help me get this. So of course, this run and these videos for this are going to be for you two guys as well. I do appreciate that because it does help out, like I said, but I don't ask for them. I mean, if you guys do it, you do. If you don't, you don't. The channel will still continue on, but I do appreciate it. So anyway, guys, put your thoughts down below about this. This looks cool. I will probably get the brushless one a little bit later on. I want to run this one just to kind of see how this holds up and stuff before we go to brushless to make sure that there's no issues with this. But I don't think there will be. I think this is probably going to run about 12 to 16, 17 miles per hour tops, and the brushless one may go 30, but we'll see. We'll take this out and get some super speed Saturdays and stuff with this as well. So anyway, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching.